like there are so many things that happen that we can't explain and that our minds would never comprehend would occur, but you know what? It's all a part of the journey. And what is this journey? Raise your hand if you've ever thought to yourself, what is the reason that I'm here? Oh, yeah. If you look around, that's all of us. Okay, that's everybody.
Hey, it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrance, the Unstoppable Coach Leftridge, welcoming you into another night with the Unstoppable Stories Show with Terrance Leftridge. And what you just heard were the melodic voice of our guest this evening, Dr. Acquilla Faye. She'll be joining us shortly on the Unstoppable Stories Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. Happy Tuesday to you. It's another unstoppable day in the land. I hope wherever you are today, you have had an unstoppable day and you are ready to have an unstoppable evening tonight, hanging out with me and my guests on the Unstoppable Story Show. Shout out to Larry Smith and Beverly Pugh, Vaughn Jackson, thanks for joining us, and Angelina Perez, one of our faithful on the Unstoppable Story Show. Thank you for coming in. So as you can see on the screen, we want you to tell us where you're watching from. So if you're joining us right now, come on, join the conversation, put in the comments where you're watching us from. And throughout this show, we want you to be interactive with us. Show some love for our guests, ask some questions, share some comments, because it's all about creating energy on the Unstoppable Story Show. We don't want you to leave here the same way you came in. We want you to not only be entertained, but we want you to be educated, and we want you to hear something, do something, feel something that's going to move you to the next level of your greatness. So, as I said earlier, I hope you had a great day today. I hope you did some things that are moving you in your direction, moving you from your past, and got you firmly walking in your purpose. It's the first Tuesday in June, y'all. It is the midway point, midway in 2018. And are you being unstoppable in 2018? Are you taking the reins off? Are you being unleashed? Are you moving from your past, that past that has kept you stuck, that has kept you stagnant, that has kept you walking in circles? And are you firmly moving in the right direction, walking in your purpose, being a change agent, being the person that's going to make the difference in the lives of others? I certainly hope so. Because that's what we need today. We need people who are going to be willing to be unstoppable. We need people that are not going to be held back by their circumstances. We need people that are going to be willing to stand out instead of fitting in. And we need people to show other people that it is never too late for you to live your best life. So I'm inviting you to be a part of this broadcast tonight. Looking forward to having a great time with our guests tonight. So all you have to do is go ahead and put your information in, just like Vaughn did from Savannah, Georgia, and Angelina did from McAllen, Texas. Tell us where you're watching us from, and be sure to interact. And also go ahead, if you will, and I hope you will, go ahead and share this information with somebody else who needs to be unstoppable. Go ahead, show Dr. Faye some love as she comes on to the broadcast. Like, share, and comment on this show. Okay? Can you do that for me? If you can do that for me, I would so appreciate you for that. But before we jump into it, I also want to just let you know that the Unstoppable books are for sale. Yes, we've got the Unstoppable books for sale. All of the books that have just been released in 2018 are ready for purchase, ready for you to come out and get the information and get entertained at the same time. As you can see, the latest book, the book launch, You Are Unstoppable, Moving from Past to Purpose, is out there. It's a phenomenal book. 7 fantastic authors from across the country coming together, being vulnerable, being transparent, sharing how they moved from their past hurts, their past trials, their past tribulations, and now they have used their past as a reference, not as a residence, and they are firmly walking in their purpose. And they have tips and strategies in the book to help you do the same thing. So we definitely want you to go ahead, and you can get the information just by going to the website. You can go to unstoppablecoaching.com/store, unstoppablecoaching.com/store, and you can get your copy of not only the You Are Unstoppable book, but you can also get the copy of my other book that I released this year. So here you go. You've got the You Are Unstoppable, Moving from Past to Purpose, with all those lovely co-authors on there. And by the way, let's give a special shout out to co-author Marie Cosgrove. Marie Cosgrove is celebrating her birthday today. So go ahead in the comments and say, happy birthday, Marie. You are unstoppable. Go ahead, put that in the comments. Happy birthday, Marie Cosgrove. You Are Unstoppable, because she is one of the authors of the You Are Unstoppable, Moving from Past to Purpose book. Hey, Billy Miller from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for joining. Billy is the person who started me on my path to purpose many, many moons ago. He allowed me to be a guest on his blog talk radio show, and I ain't stopped talking since. So shout out to the minister, Billy Miller, in North Carolina. Our guest tonight is also in North Carolina. So if you two have not connected, then here's your opportunity to connect this evening. You both are doing phenomenal things, and you both are serving North Carolina well. Also, the second book, Live Your Best Life. You only get one. I am also a co-author in this book, along with 10 other authors under the tutelage of Dr. Ruben West, Black Belt Speaker Family. You can also go to unstoppablecoaching.com/store and learn how you can live your best life. Why? Because you only get one. So definitely go on to the website, unstoppablecoaching.com, pick up both those books. You will not be disappointed by the subject matter in those books. All right, so let's jump on into tonight's show. Tonight's show is featuring one of my BBS sisters, that I met again under the tutelage of Dr. Ruben West and the Black Belt Speakers a couple of years ago now. And she is phenomenal. She does so many things that I could spend the whole hour just talking about what she does, but she would never get on the show. So let's just break it down real simple so that you can get to meet her and hear her tell her own story. She's what we call a transformation guide, not just a coach, not just someone who walks alongside you as you transform on your own journey. She's someone who's there to guide you through your journey. There's a difference. There's a difference between walking alongside of you, because the blind can lead the blind and you get nowhere. But as she guides you through your journey, she helps you be in the moment of your journey, to be present with your situation each and every step of the way, so that you are not only aware of your transformation, you are inspired by your transformation. But she's also an entrepreneur. She's an award-winning media personality. She's got a fabulous show called Grown Folks Talking Live, the meditation series on the Bashani Radio Network, with millions of listeners each and every week. And she took the time to be on my little old show this evening. So, without further ado, we are going to introduce to the broadcast my friend, Dr. Acquilla Faye. Let's bring her up out of the green room and have her join us on the show. Hey, 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 it's an unstoppable day, Dr. Acquilla Faye. How are you?
Oh, I like that poem. Like an unstoppable day, Dr. Acquilla Faye. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I've been listening.
Your show is big too. I just want to say that you bring on some phenomenal people who are really touching lives in different places. I was on a panel last Saturday. Yeah, last Saturday. And we were discussing women who run with wolves. And one thing that I pointed out was that everybody is designed different, right? But equally. And some of us have to touch 7, some have to touch 700, some need to touch 7,000, et cetera, et cetera. But if we don't touch the ones we're supposed to touch, we still didn't do our job.
I love it. Well said. And it is a fact that your message may not be for everyone, but someone needs to hear your message. And that's why I love having this platform where I am allowed and able to bring people like yourself onto the show to share this platform, to get your message out to the masses in a non-traditional way. We all know that it takes bank, it takes loot, it takes moolah to get on the major networks and on the radio and TV. But the internet, by God's will, has transformed the game. And now each and every one of us can, in a low cost effective manner, share our voice, share our story, and change lives. And you're one of those people that's doing that. So thank you for being on the show this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me. They always say you're a reflection of your 5 closest people. You in that circle. So
what was the cell phone was saying a couple of years ago? You're in my 5, you're my fave 5.
Right. Look, technology stuff, you changing so quick. You're like, hold up, when was that? Last week or last year? Like,
is that carrier still in business now? I'm not sure, but I T-Mobile. But anyway, so for the people who have not met you, because you have been on the Unstoppable Story show as well as my previous show, the Next Level Living show, introduce yourself to our audience, Dr. Acquilla Faye, and then I'm going to ask you one of the questions that I ask all of my guests who are on the show. So go ahead, take it away.
First, I want to say hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is such a blessing and a pleasure to be seen and be heard and be able to take breath and just slow it down, to be able to have a conversation with my brother and with all of you. In reality, I'm a person. I'm a spirit having a human experience just like all of us. I have made a decision to go from teaching for over 13 years. I officially retired way early in my career, cashed it in, was like, I can't do this anymore. My soul's on fire, and went into entrepreneurship to set up a lifestyle where I could be more present for my son because he's very important to me. I am a soul provider, meaning SOUL provider and SOLE provider. So it was really important to me to set that up. And then I'm also a very independent, free spirit. Speaking, writing, being in the arts, educating has always been a part of me. For some of us, we find our way and it's like, oh, this is what I do. For a person like myself, you've always been that way. For some of us, you really hopped out the womb. It was like, yo, world, here I am, let's go. And you were doing it. And then life comes. And what happens, circumstances will try to detour you and change you and sway your mind from who you are and what you're destined to do. So I just made a determination when I was 9. I made a declaration. I said, no demons will ever win. Ever. Ever. And I wholeheartedly mean that. And with that statement, it just means whatever obstacles come, whatever people do, whatever people say, even my own thoughts and stuff, they won't win against the bigger purpose, which is to help people understand God is real, love heals, and we all need to work in the best ability of our own lane, so that we can create a world that everyone can sustain, live in, and flourish. So I help people to elevate. I help people with empowerment, with entertainment, and with enterprise. And it's all about who you are and what you need.
So it can be in the entertainment area, it can be in writing, or it can be strictly in business, or your business is your business. So don't let anyone tell you if you're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, that's not a business. That's a business. So whatever your business is, if your vision hasn't met reality, that's where I come in.
I love it. Talking to Dr. Acquilla Faye on the Unstoppable Stories show with Terrance Leftridge. So, Dr. Faye, the one question that I ask each and every one of my guests on the show is a simple question. And it's simply, what does it mean to you to be unstoppable?
Being unstoppable means no matter what circumstances you have, no matter what people say to you, no matter what your doubts and your fears are, you do not let that hinder you from moving forward in life. Period, point blank, no excuses. Drop the mic.
And drop the mic, she did. Yes, I love it. And you were prepared for that question because I've asked you that question before. So I just love how you were able to jump out and seize on it. But you got to admit that if you were being honest with our audience, you weren't always unstoppable. Is that correct?
Being honest, I would say I was never not unstoppable because I wouldn't be here. There's so many times where I would have been dead.
Okay, that's
You know
fair
what I'm
enough.
saying?
Were you all?
I think that what happens is mentally, I might not have had the same confidence. And I didn't have the same. No, I just didn't have the same confidence. That's what I would say. Didn't have the same confidence. Kind of trying to find your way, but that doesn't make you a stopped person. That makes you a person who's pausing to have a reflection and figure out things. That's why I help people with mindfulness and stress reduction, because mindfulness isn't about saying, oh, it's always daisies and flowers and sunshine. You know, when you grow a plant, you need the rain. When you
I
grow a
love
plant, you need the sun. You also
Yes,
need the dirt. If all you
yes,
have is sunshine, you're going to have a dead seed and no
right.
harvest, and you're going to starve.
Yeah,
So it's finding the beauty within all of those phases and understanding the lesson and the progress and going through the pain, going through the sadness, going through the confusion, going through the, I don't really know what I'm doing myself right now. But you keep going, no matter how painful it is, no matter how slow it might be at that time. You might slow down. You get what I'm saying? You might detour, derail. But if you waking up and you breathing, you haven't been stopped. And that's really my philosophy. As long as you breathing, you have not stopped.
I love it. And you know what? As the transformation guide, you had to get to that point of transformation to telling your clients as well as telling yourself the things you just said. So let's go back a little before
Okay.
Dr. Acquilla Faye was doctor. She was just Acquilla. Tell us about Acquilla and how she got to this point in her life where she decided that she was not only going to transform her life, but she was going to guide other people into transforming their life as well.
But I'm gonna go back further. Before she was Acquilla, like my granddaddy said, I don't know why your mama named you that. I'm gonna call you Kiki. Kiki, that's your name. So she was Kiki and Keela one. So I always grew up getting that type of love from my inner family. You know what I'm saying? That support, that encouragement. I was tutoring in first grade. I became published when I was 7. I got into entertainment when I was 8. So a lot of things I do now, they evolve. In between those phases, what happened was I hit puberty, right? And I hit young adulthood. And when we go through those phases, we always think, oh my God, I know everything. I'm about to do everything. I couldn't try it. I'm going to try it. And then you realize, oh, whoa, some stuff I don't need to try. Some people I don't need to be around. But you got to heal from that, right? And when you're healing from that, I used to always tell people, well, I still do, depending on the platform, about the rapes and kidnappings and all this stuff. My life is like Belly meets poetic justice. You know, if you could imagine that. And
Wow.
yeah, like that's my life. So
That's deep.
it's like I don't really know where to start at when people ask that question. I always just say that there's always been some type of challenge. Even when I was young, one of the deacons from my church is my friend now. He's one of the elders, and he said he calls me Acquilla now. He said, Acquilla, even when you were little, a little girl in the church, I knew God had his thumb on you because you had to fight for every single thing. I mean, dude, I had to fight for the choir robe. I mean, I really always had to just be like very assertive because I was taught to be humble, but I had to learn more about finding my voice in a different way and learning how to project my voice in a more understandable format. It's not so much that it's received all the time, because people judge and people compare. So people are like, man, that ain't possible. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. That's really all about self-thought and assumption. It has nothing to do with another person's reality. You understand? So I had to learn how to not let other people's perceptions and feelings and judgments impede my reality. Like, well, Keela, what you mean you've been international since you were 7? I mean, I've been international since I was 7. Like, you said, I mean, like, these are just facts. Facts are facts. Whether
Yeah.
people like them or not, that's just the truth of the matter, you know? Now, were there some terrible things that happen? Yes. Do I like to tell it? I don't mind. I be feeling people's heart. People be crying more for my story than me at this point, because I've healed from it. You get what I'm saying? And when I hadn't healed, we cried together. We cussed together. We was looking for people together, you know? But then I had to hear and was like, whoa, what granddaddy said? He said, don't let hell in your heart for anybody send you to hell. Don't let hate in your heart send you to hell. Then he also said, learn to separate the man or the woman from the actions. Because God created everything, but you ain't got to like the action.
I
So
love
I
it.
remind myself of that, you know?
And another thing that I've heard a lot growing up is you've got to learn how to subtract the message from the messenger, because many times we miss the message because we're so focused on the person who's delivering the message and our story around that person. If we love that person, we're going to love that message. If we hate that person, no matter what that person is saying, whether it is the number one thing that we need to transform our life, we're not going to hear it because we get caught up in that story. And I love how Les Brown would always say that don't let somebody else's perception of you become your reality.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of people really need to understand on this unstoppable journey. Many times we get stuck because we're stuck in somebody else's opinion of us instead of taking the time to be grounded in our own foundation. So I love how you said that. But
you know
now
what's dope about what you said too, though? Sometimes this is what I notice with people I work with, children and adults alike. We hear the message from other people for so long that we actually think those are our thoughts.
Exactly.
You know, it's like we forget our own thoughts. So that would be the one thing that I personally work on every day. That's the one thing I would say that I really had to redevelop, especially after being violated and stuff like that. And being homeless with my son, like feeling like, oh my God, what did I do? Why this happened? Is reestablishing self-worth and voice. And I say voice first, meaning knowing your thoughts from everything around you. Because no matter what tools and strategies you get, if you don't know your voice and how your spirit sounds, you don't know what God sounds like, it don't matter what anybody gives you.
Yeah, absolutely true. And it's so poignant that you said what you just said, because you were actually part of a book collaboration, just like I was, under the tutelage of Dr. Reuben West. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Like-minded. The book is called Live Your Best Life. But here's what I like. I love the subtitle even more. Your life is the message.
Yes.
That is so important, because many people are out there today and they feel that their life doesn't matter. You know, the Black Lives Movement mattered. The Black Lives Matters movement came out of that. People feeling that Black lives' voices didn't matter. The Me Too movement coming out of, are you hearing our voice? Are you hearing our cries of injustice and abuse and harassment and sexual inappropriateness? So there's a need for people to know that their life matters and that their life is a message. So what made you decide to be a part of this phenomenal collaborative book?
I love writing. 2 Black Belt Speakers presents a great opportunity for you to do that. 3, it was the 3rd book. I love the number 3. And 4, when it said your life is the message, it hit me like, yes, this is like the best subtopic for me to share my experience, because it put it in a context where I feel like people can process it a little better. Like, oh, so her whole life is really okay. She didn't wake up and say, you know, I'm teaching, I hate my job, and I'm going to try something new. Let me try to be a poet. It's like, no, she's always done these things. She's always been a farm girl. Growing up on a farm, you just get certain traits, for one. Growing up in the farm is like growing up in the hood. It's just things you learn that's going to stay no matter what. And it just, when I prayed about it, even now, as I think about it, it's just like the whole concept that not just my life, but somebody else who reads it, that represents their life. Everyone is not comfortable sharing that they've been violated, that they've been raped. Everybody's not comfortable saying like, no, it wasn't my family. No, they didn't know. I didn't know how to tell them because of your age, depending on your age. I was so little at first. And the way you process it. And so for me, unbeknown to myself, God allowed that to be a doorway for me to be able to explain something that people hate saying, hate talking about, try to ignore, and put it in a context where people can process, well, why her? Well, why didn't this happen? Why didn't this? And I can have dialogues with people and go to different organizations and talk to different men and women, because men also have been violated, and we talk to them too about going through that process while still sharing, hey, in that process, I learned you have to learn how to unpervert your perceptions. You have to learn how to forgive people. You have to learn how to forgive yourself, especially when it wasn't something that you could have avoided. You see what I'm saying? As an adult, situations are different. As a child, there's things you a child. You can't hop in the car and be like, I'm about to leave. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh, I'm going to go move somewhere. You're a child. And so a lot of things have happened to people in their childhood that they blame themselves for as if they were a teenager or adult, but they were not. So what you do as an adult is not the same thing. I pray is not the same thing you do as a child, because you have different resources, understanding, and circumstances. So being in that book was dope. And then bringing my son down to, was it Atlanta? Yeah, down to Atlanta for him to see an experience that was important. Because I wanted him to see, why is it that mommy's staying up late all the time? Why is it that mommy's working? What is it that mommy's doing? So him coming to the conference with me when we did the book release was a game changer for him. He's always with me. But I really wanted him to see that celebration. I really wanted him to see the fruition of that process so that he could also, as a child, have those experiences, where it's like, wow, this is how you get a goal. This is how you achieve this. This is how you work towards it. And this is what happens at the end if you just continue to focus on it.
Transformation, guiding him through the transformation. Dr. Jean Jones says that forgiveness is huge. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I love how you talk about your story and your journey, because it's important for people to know that you've got to go through in order to grow through. Now, life ain't fair, but we all know that. And it ain't fair what things that you may have to go through versus things that I had to go through. Trust me, I wouldn't want to stand in your shoes, and if you had any sense, you wouldn't want to. Okay. Right. But the fact of the matter is, everything that we have gone through prepared us for the moment for which we are in right now. No matter how good, no matter how bad, no matter how ugly. Like you said earlier, there's the sunshine, there's the water, and there's the dirt. Sometimes it's going to look good. Sometimes it's going to be messy. Sometimes it's going to make you wet. But if you go through it, you're going to grow through it. And then now you'll be able to sit in a position like we're sitting in right now to be able to share our unstoppable stories in the hopes that we will transform somebody else's story. And Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny, one of my co-authors in my book, she just said legacy. And that's what it's about. You are establishing a legacy for your son, as well as all the people that you will work with through your Transformation Guide series.
So on that, can I share something with you?
Oh, I guess you can. You're on the show and everything.
So we're talking about my son, right?
Yeah.
So one, I got a whole lot of vision boards, but vision boards, knowing where you want to go, right?
Exactly.
So this is one of my smaller ones. My son, I was doing vision boards. He said, Mom, I want to do it. So we took an evening.
Oh, man. Tell him to give me my car back. That's
his vision board, because he wants to be an engineer. He plans on building and modeling cars, and so he likes reading the car magazines and looking at how they are. then he also says he's going to build my car. So when he sees other cars, it helps him. And then he has a little scientist up here. Oh boy, where he at? Right there. And he colored them brown because when you have a vision, if you're not looking at yourself, it kind of cause some confusion. So he colored them brown because he brown. And they want a little brown scientist in the magazine, but he likes science. And then he drew a boat, and he has water sports, and then he put see the world because he said with me traveling, now he has his passport. He want to go to, I've been to 7 countries already, and he wants to travel the world as well. So wow. It's like you really start to see your reflection with them. Like, not that I'm perfect, but those things make me be like, okay, yeah. This is working, you know.
It makes you know that what you're doing is making a difference. And what I love about the vision board is that when I first saw the vision board, the first thing that thought in my mind, it's a boy. He wants to have a fly car. He wants to have a fast car. He wants to be a baller. But then you told the story behind the board. And that's what makes the difference. He doesn't only want to drive the car. He wants to engineer the car. He wants to create the car. He wants to make something that not only he wants, but he knows people need and people will want. That's the difference. And when we expand our vision, that's the difference between when our vision is brought on by ourselves versus when our vision is guided by somebody like yourself. So thank you for starting the transformation in your son. We're talking to Dr. Acquilla Faye, the transformation guide on the Unstoppable Stories show with Terrance Leftridge. We got the comments coming in. Lady Rochelle says, my girls and I do a vision board every New Year's Eve. Love it. I've already checked off author. God is good.
Congratulations, Lady Rochelle. That's what I'm talking about. It's a fun activity with your kids, man. Like, even with your friends. If you sit down, it's like I'll give this analogy. When somebody shows up and they go, oh man, speak of the devil. I'm like, that's so negative. Like, do you like the devil? People like, no. Why don't you say speak of an angel? It changes everything. Your complexion changes when you say speak of an angel. Your smile when you're thinking about, oh, speak of an angel. What? An angel showing up at the cookout, you know? And it's the same thing when you're doing activities with your friends. Instead of sitting around complaining about what you don't have, why you don't have it, how it ain't working. Okay. Say this is where you're at, right? But being mindful, what is it you would like to change and what is it you're going to do differently? So if you're in a position that you really don't favor, a relationship you don't favor, don't complain about it if you're not going to leave. Now, if you want to leave or you want to make that relationship better, right? Because leaving isn't always the option. Sometimes just communication, it's finances, it's sex, it's other things. So if you want to make it better, talk to people, say, hey, man, hey, sis, hey, bro, we having this conflict. I'm not really sure how to make it better. It's making me real frustrated. I'm a little discombobulated. You have some ideas or maybe a resource or something that can help me with this. You see what I'm saying? That changes the whole energy behind what you're doing instead of like just being stuck in this little rut and expecting things to change. Because whatever you put in your mind, whatever you say out your mouth, that's the life you're going to live. 2 years ago, I was homeless. So if I would have kept saying, oh, man, I'm a bum, I wouldn't be where I'm at 2 years later with 500,000 people listening to my show, having advertisements from 2,500 to 100,000, helping several authors publish their books, my son being homeschooled. That wouldn't happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the same with anybody's story. Why allow a circumstance to transform your thought process? Why not let your thought process transform your circumstance? Lord have mercy, God speaking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you just dropped something.
Let me calm down.
I think you said it so fast that we're going to have you replay and say it a little bit slower so that they can hit home with that message. Go ahead, drop that knowledge. I'm going to put you on the
Why let your circumstances change your mindset? Why not let your mindset change your circumstances?
Oh my God. See, if you keep dropping the mic, I'm going to have to wait for you to pick it up so that we can continue this conversation. So cut that out. Dr. Acquilla Faye. But that is a great, great message. Mindset transformation. That's what it's all about. I told you, Dr. Billy Miller, he's in the chat room, and his show was called Mind Shift Talk Radio. His show was my very first opportunity to jump into this media podcast game. But first, before I could jump out there, I had to change. I had to shift my mind. I had to get the shift out of my mind. So I had to get out of my own way, and before I could see the possibilities. And once my mind shifted, my actions shifted, my situations changed, my locations changed, and now I am doing the same thing that somebody did for me. But it all began in the mind. It's a wonderful thing. And so with this mind transformation that you're talking about, you have this great show that you just mentioned called Grown Folks Talking Live, the meditation series. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the show?
So Grown Folks Talking Live, you all, and the meditation series, they're separate, but I join things. So when you come onto that podcast, Grown Folks Talking Live, which is available anywhere you have a mobile device, new episode drops every Tuesday between 12 and 3, available for download. You can go listen to archived episodes. It's about parenting and adulting. So on this show, we talk about any topic that relates to being an adult, like a real adult. You know, you want to write a book, how to manage your stress, how to deal with your children, how to get a new job, you know, just like you pissed off and you just need to express it. Here goes some resources for that. And the show goes in this order. We start off with gratitude, because gratitude is the key to success. When you can be in whatever place you're in and you can be grateful. Dang, I got all these dishes in the sink, but you got dishes. If you got dishes, that means you got food. You got food, that means you eating. So you might not like that you got to wash dishes, but give thanks you got dishes to wash and food to put on the plate to get dirty dishes. You get what I'm saying? Like changing how you see it. So we start with gratitude. Then we go into a meditation, and it incorporates a lot of my studies over the years. That's what my doctorate's in. And my book, Letters of Devotion, Prayers Through Meditation, that is available for download. It is available for download. Letters of Devotion on Facebook. You can go there. That's the easiest way. Or my website, AquillaFaye.com. And we go through different meditations, exercises, breathing, stretching. And then we do literature read. We bring in a book and we discuss that and how to bring it into your life. And then that's when we get into a deeper discussion on whatever the topic is, whether it's find your voice, whether it's be more authentic, managing stress, some of the things I previously mentioned, or if we have a special guest. And typically our guests are men. The reason being because we highlight the masculine man. We highlight the man who is able to be masculine without being aggressive and abrasive. We highlight the man who knows how to balance his family with his business. We highlight the man who says, you know what? I'm human too. I don't always smile. I get sad, but this is how I work through it. Because you need the man and the woman in order for us to groom each other and to grow and to populate. So I feel honored to be able to bring on strong men like Terrance is coming on this year to highlight who they are, you know what I'm saying? And to share with the world, like, yo, masculinity is awesome and it's great and it's necessary. So that's what that's about.
And it's important to know that men matter too. Many times in this world, men are only part of the conversation if they're in a position of power and they're using their power for evil instead of good, or if they are in a situation where they have their hands up and their head down in that submissive decision because they've been beat down, broken down, and have to bear the weight of the world on their shoulders. So I applaud you for using your platform to lift men up and to give men the platform to show them that they are leaders, they are our strong foundation, and it takes men and women collaborating together for the transformation to truly happen. So I appreciate that. And I can't wait to get your invitation to be on the show. It is Grown Folks Talking Live. It's on the BashaniRadio.com network. You can see it going across the screen, www.bshaniradio.com. So make sure that you go check her podcast out. But she ain't done yet. She wants to talk to us a little bit about some of the 4 key points that she talks about in her meditation series, and specifically around mommypreneurship, because she is a mom and she is an entrepreneur, and she is showing her son the way and giving him a legacy so that he can transform his life and be an entrepreneur at some point in the future as well. So let's jump right into it in the last couple of minutes that we have together. One of the key points you talk about is spiritual grounding. So what do you mean by that? And how do you achieve that in your meditation series?
Spiritual grounding. So Tribe Transform is launching this summer. You all, Tribe Transform. We're already putting out different little things, phrases and stuff like that. Is so excited. It's such a blessing. So the meditation series and the grounding, that was a big question. I'm gonna break it down. So spiritual grounding means having your own relationship with the Creator. So a lot of people are raised in or out of church. A lot of people believe what was passed down to them from like your mother, your father, your grandmother, adopted parents, aunt, uncle, whoever, the neighbor, your big OG, whoever taught you. And you carry that because that's what carried you. That's what kept you strong. As you start to go through your own life and be present and be grateful, even in your pain, even in your distress, be grateful again. Like I said, if you're breathing, you should be grateful. So in that reality, you start to have a different understanding of what it means to know God, what it means to know the Creator or the source, whatever name you use. You start to realize that religion is not God. Religion is the tool, the method, the strategy that people use to get closer to God, to be a better person, to have more discernment, to be more steadfast, and to stop judging. A lot of times we judge ourselves like, oh my God, I went to the club today, I'm terrible. No, you went to the club. That's what it is. Did you not take care of your kids before you went to the club? Or if you don't have children, are you out here just cussing people out because, oh, I had a bad day? You smacking people, pop, pop, pop. You got to look at your own actions. And when you start to do that and have compassion on yourself, it'll come because you'll start to feel this divine love in your own life. And that divine love transforms into a strategy that keeps you grounded and keeps you from judging yourself and judging others, and having compassion for yourself and having compassion for others. And my meditations are more active, more visual. You can do and that's cool. A lot of people are not in that place yet. That would drive some people crazy to sit in silence for 2 hours. I love it. I love silence. However, I also love being active and animated. And so I combine those two things to say, hey, let's get to know you because you are God. You're just not the big God. Because every practice tells you you're made in God's image. You are a reflection of me. You are a piece of me. The Creator makes the creation so we can create. So you're the creation to create from the Creator. So
yes, it all stems from him. That's why it's a vertical as well as a horizontal relationship. And that's what makes the cross. It first has to have that relationship coming up and down from him to you before you can share going out. The thing that I love about what you said about the meditation series is that it doesn't have to be one way. It can be a number of different ways because we all find our spiritual grounding in different ways. The key is not how you find it. The key is that you do find it, and you don't want to get lost in the protocol of meditation or the supposed way of meditating. You don't want to get so caught up in that you miss out on the opportunity to meditate, to be one with yourself, to be in relationship with the Creator so that you can get the spiritual food that you need going into your ground, feeding your seed so that what grows up out of you to go horizontally to the rest of the world is something that the world needs, not that something that the world will just throw away. So I love that. And the word grounding is so powerful. When I think of grounding, I think of foundation, and I think of a tree. And we had lots of conversations
That's one of my logos is a tree, right? I wanted to ask you when you said the horizontal, I said the vertical and the horizontal. So sometimes it's a sun's first, right?
Yeah.
So when you get to a certain point, you always hear the older people or wiser people or different people, even children. They'll say, "Man, my relationship is different now," and it's like you become a star, you become a sun, and you start radiating in every direction. You start realizing, wow, it's everything. Everything is one. Everything is connected. The first time I heard that I was in college, I said, Dr. Manigo, whatever. Everything ain't one. I had a little attitude and everything, like, whatever, who you telling just because you a professor? But I had to learn as I went through life. I said, wow, everything is one. Everything is connected. Whether someone calls God she or he or it's God is so omnipresent, right? That one person in totality cannot encapsulate the beauty and the infinality of that existence. But collectively, we can.
Okay, so they're saying in the room that there's an echo when you're speaking. So I don't know if it's the room where you are, or it's just maybe you repositioned your phone or your laptop. So we'll just keep going and we'll just stay cognizant of that. But I love how your first point leads into your second point. And what I was about to say about the grounding and the foundation, you've got to have that grounding and that foundation from up above before you can move into your second topic, your second point in the meditation series, and that's the relationship with yourself. That's so key. Drop some nuggets about why that is so important.
The more you know you, the easier it is to maneuver through life. I know you say this something like what? But really though, if other people, how can someone who hasn't lived your life tell you better than you tell yourself who you are?
Yeah, and it's so simplistic, easier said than done, as they say, but it's so cool. And in the book, I've got two authors in the recent book, You Are Unstoppable, and they both talk about self-love. They both talk about going on that self-lovery journey and really spending time with yourself. One of your BBS sisters, author Maria Vega, she talks about self-love and going on her self-love journey and how she spent so much time trying to fit in early in her life because she wasn't grounded in her spirit as well as herself. And it was only until she went through that self-love journey that she recognized that when she had a relationship with herself, she was able to say that self-love is in fact the best love. And I think that's pretty much what you're saying as well. When you have a relationship with yourself,
kind of like that.
Say that again.
I said kind of like that, with the added bonus of knowing yourself, not just saying I love myself, not just saying I appreciate myself. Affirmations are powerful. They're important. They help shift. But when you can sit by yourself and enjoy yourself and know that you're not lonely.
Right.
You can face yourself and say, oh my God, my breath stinks. And I don't like it. I'm going to fix it. You see what I'm saying? So we talk about self-love. We always talk about all these positives like, woo! But what about the day when your knee hurt, you felt lazy, and you couldn't move? And you just acknowledge that, you know what? I'm not lazy. My knee hurt real bad. It's okay. I'm going to put something on it. I'm going to rub it, massage it myself, and take care of myself and not call myself names. You know what I mean? So it's like self-love is misconstrued sometimes as just saying affirming yourself and doing good things for yourself. Relationship with yourself is saying when you're driving down the street, you trust your intuition. It's saying that things you need to do for self-care, you're willing to do, and you don't feel like you're being selfish. It's saying that the people who depend on you, you can also say, hey, I have to depend on me, but I'm willing to ask for help because I know me well enough to know when I need help and when I don't. You get what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
it's like it's like dating yourself,
Oh yeah.
you know?
It's like being constantly aware. There is the self-awareness. It's the
Right.
authentic you. You are free to be whoever you are, whoever you choose to be, flaws and all. And if I got a zit today, that's okay because it's my zit. It ain't
Right. There
yours.
you go.
Don't worry about it. If I'm having a bad day, it's okay for me to say I'm having a bad day because my relationship is strong enough to know that I will get through this day. And my relationship with me doesn't necessarily have to affect my relationship with you. But if I don't have a relationship with me, how can I ever have a relationship with you?
There you go.
I love it. Talking to Dr. Acquilla Faye. She's dropping knowledge as only the transformation guide can do. We are coming up on the end, so let's jump through these last two real briefly. The next to the last one you talk about in the meditation series is stop judging and comparing. Oh, that's a big one for some people, I'm sure. So drop a little nugget about that.
All right, I'm gonna do an experiment. So you know about this book, right?
Yeah.
That I've been in. Then I have this other book that I've written, available on Amazon. The Men We Choose. Talks about 27 personalities in poetry and prose. Then I just published this book for some authors and got to write the back. Then I got to edit this book for Herbert Harris. He sold 1 million copies. Then I got to publish this book. Now, some people just doing that will be like, why you got to show all that? You know what I'm saying?
Why you got to be front end?
Right. Or it's like, why you boosting on yourself? Or, is that necessary? When the reality is like, that's what I do. You know what I mean? And when your friends come to you or you go to people, you should be able to go in a place where you can exalt the works that you've been blessed to be able to do for yourself and for others. And if you're not able to do that with yourself, it's really a lot of times because you're judging, like, is it good enough? Is it not? What do other people in my age do? What are they not? What are my friends doing? What are they not? Without recognizing that's them.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with you. You comparing, you driving yourself crazy. You driving you crazy, you driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Because you trying to be like this person who just did a 3,000 city tour. That ain't you. You don't know what it took for that person to do that. You trying to be the CEO at your company, but you don't know what that took either. That's what's up, baby. Yeah. Like, you don't know what that took. You trying to have 8 kids, but maybe you're not supposed to. Or maybe you got 8 kids, but you don't know what it's like. You ain't got no kids. But you don't know what that's like. And so to stop judging, to stop comparing, what happens is you just come to a place of it is what it is. It's not good, it's not bad. It depends on what side of the coin you're on. If you lost $100 and I found it, great day. For you, horrible day. The reality is $100 got left on the ground. And it's like that in everything.
And that is so true. I talk about this a lot about judging and comparing. Really, the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the person in the mirror each and every day. Each and every day. Because if you come back to the mirror on tomorrow and you see the same person that you were today, then that means you haven't grown. Now that's where the comparison starts. If people spent half as much time looking at themselves as they did looking at other people, then they would be much farther along. But here's the thing. Here's the nod. it's so much easier to compare yourself to somebody else because you're not walking in their shoes. You don't see them when they go inside their house and lock their door. You don't see them at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're crawled up in the corner of their room crying their eyes out because they don't think they got it all worked out. But then 7 a.m. the next day, they come out and they show their representative to you, and you think they got it going on because they drive in the Lexus and they're going to the corporate office and they got a downtown parking space, or they're speaking in front of 500,000 people each and every week. But trust and believe that the same person that speaks in front of 500,000 people every week and the same person that's crying their eyes out at 3 a.m. in the morning are the same people just like you that get up and put their pants on one leg at a time or slide into their skirt the exact same way. The difference is, what are you going to do with your life? And stop worrying about what they're doing with their life. Yes.
Now, when you say that, like things really are easier to do than what people give themselves credit for.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, real talk. As many times I've been raped, you would think I would never want to date. I would hate people. I would just really be a whole different type of person. You know what I mean? It happened a lot with different people. But I was like, I'm not going to let that stop me from making good friends. I'm not going to let that stop me from having fun. Now, I still had like feelings, right? But once I healed through it, some people say, are you sure you're healed? Are you sure you're okay? Are you just fronting? And the other side of that coin is sometimes that person really do have it together. Like sometimes because they already went through some stuff, so you're seeing them at a different point. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you might have met them 5 years ago, you might be like, hold up. Kooky? You know? But you meeting them later, and it's Raekwon now. You see what I mean?
And that is exactly the reason why we do this show the way we do the show. I didn't start out talking about all the great things that you're doing right now. I had you take our audience back because it is very easy to see people as their representative or to see people at the top of the mountain. We always want to see the people at the top of the mountain, but in the back of our mind, we're looking on how we can chip at them and break them down or break the mountain down so that we can bring them back down to us. So we can say, ha, told you so, or something, or ha, you ain't all that. When what we really want to do is I want to be the person that's on the top of that mountain that's reaching down to bring you up. And the way I'm bringing you up is to tell you that, hey, I was down at the I was down in the valley where that mountain was, where you are right now. Here's the path I took to get to the top of this mountain. You can do it too. Oh, you know what? You just slipped in the middle of climbing that mountain. Guess what? I did too. And I had to start over. Here's what I did differently when I started over. Everybody thinks there's such a thing as an overnight success, but in reality, it's a number of nights of trying to get it right over and over and over again. And Janice in the chat room made a good point. An example, look at Kate Spade, someone who was on the top in the eyes of millions of people. Millions of women are walking around with her handbag right now, styling and profiling. You would think she had it going on. She had a husband, had a family, 55 years old, prime of her life, and gone. Now, I don't know the reasons, but I tend to believe that most suicides occur because there's something going on with the person that nobody else may even know about that they are struggling with. There's something about the relationship with themselves that is not right. There's something about their spiritual grounding that has not happened. They are still out there judging people that are even on a higher level to them than they think that they are.
You know what's so interesting about levels?
Yeah, tell me.
They exist as far as terminology, but they don't exist as far as perception. Meaning, think about the ocean. That's the best way I can explain levels. There's some animals that can only live in the deep parts of the ocean where there's a little bit of a sunlight and a whole lot of pressure. There's other animals that have to live near the top of the ocean, a lot of sunlight, a little bit of pressure. So if that animal at the top goes to the bottom, they'll die. If that animal at the bottom goes to the top, it too shall die. So they're at different levels, right? But they're not one better than the other. They're just different because they're made different, they're built different, they eat different, they swim different, they sleep different, just different. And if we could
Yes.
learn to see it's just different.
Yes. And if we could learn to realize that no matter where we are in our statuses of life,
Right,
that we all have common needs.
right,
Kate Spade needed something that she
right.
probably couldn't get from somebody who was making another designer bag, but she could have got it from somebody who maybe makes $10 an hour.
Right.
You know, there are millionaires on Wall Street that get bonuses at the end of the year, and on New Year's Eve, they're jumping off ledges. There are actors that have blockbuster movies, and the next week they are in rehab. So the point is, don't always, while you're out there judging and while you're out there comparing, be careful who you're judging and comparing yourself to. Because like I said earlier, I don't want to be in Dr. Faye's shoes, and I know if she had any sense, she wouldn't want to jump in mine. Same thing is true. But the last point that you bring out, which is the most powerful, I think, is that we've got to get to this realization. After we get grounded spiritually, after we learn how to have a relationship with ourselves, not just self-love, but all the other selves. When we stop judging and comparing ourselves to others and start looking at the man or the woman in the mirror, then we can come to this realization, and the realization is on the screen now, that love heals and God is real. Go and drop some nuggets on that one.
I feel like that's self-explanatory, bro. My YouTube channel, if you type in Unwrapping Your Package and go to my YouTube channel, there is a beautiful speech there about how love heals, to be honest with you. If you type in love heals and type in my name, Acquilla Faye, ACQUILLAFAYE. It's a great speech because, wow, this has been a really awesome time, and time has really been flying. Love is one of the strongest energies in the world. Love can comfort, love can be soft, love can be gentle. Love can also be very strong, very forceful, and kill. Because love is just this pure energy of care and sincerity. And when you start to understand how God loves you, and you start looking in the mirror and you see God in you, you stop seeing God out here all the time. And you really, really understand, like, hold up, it's like your mother and your father. You're not your mom. You're not your dad. But when you look in the mirror, oh, those mama eyes right there. Oh, that's daddy ear right there. Oh, that's mama mouth right there. So if you know God made you, should look in the mirror and be like, dang, that's God in my eyes. That's God in my voice. So when you out of balance, you can check yourself because you understand where you come from. And when you love, it's not just about loving you. It's like me, loving those people who violated me, loving those people who kidnapped me, loving those people who let me off as a teacher, loving the people who discriminate against my son. Just went and bought them gifts today, as a matter of fact, at the end of the school year. Why? Because everybody serves a purpose. And you may not like how they come in your life or what they do in your life, but I'm sure there's some people who don't like how you came in their life and what you did in their life either.
Somebody say something.
So we need to love them. It don't mean you got to hang out with them, rock with them, come to the cookout, none of that. But love them enough to be like, you know what, God, I really don't know what's going on with that person. It's making them say, do, not do certain things that I favor or don't favor. And you pray for them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's God. That's to me. That is the totality of God. God will love you enough to kill you. God will love you enough to give you life. And we understand life and death is in the tongue. It's also in the eyes, the way we move. Just because you don't kill somebody's body, you could be killing somebody's spirit, not even knowing it because you don't say good morning.
Well, you know what? I thank you so much, Dr. Acquilla Faye, for sharing some time with us, dropping these
Thank
nuggets,
you.
getting people in tune with themselves, getting them grounded, giving them just a little bit of information on how they can become in relationship with themselves and recognize that truly God is real. You're doing some great things as a transformation guide, and I want to encourage you to continue to walk in your purpose, to keep moving forward, and as always, keep being unstoppable. But do you have a final word for our audience before we let you go?
That phrase always bugs me out when people say your final word because it sounds so finite. Right? I'd be like, I got something to say tonight though. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh. You all would love to connect with you. If you remember how to spell my name, Acquilla Faye. Go to my Facebook page. You can find facebook.com/path, like PATH. Then it's going to be 2TO, then YOU. Path to You. You'll find out about a lot of the products, the services, links to the YouTube channel where you can find videos that will help you right now for free. I do have Tribe Transform if you're ready to step into another space. And I am also accepting new clients right now on a one-on-one basis if that's something you're interested in. But I would say your first stop is this Path to You. And spell my name. You can find me anywhere. That's also my email, info@AquillaFaye. That's all my social media. That's my website. So if you would like to know more things, work together, if you would like to have the message brought to you, I do travel. Just know, closed mouth don't get fed. Period. So if there's something on your heart, your mind, you're like, I wonder if, you're not going to know until you reach out to me. And I'm
Wow.
here for you to reach out to me. I love you all. I pray God blesses all of you, elevates all of you, strengthens all of you. And whatever barrier you have or blockage you have, that it begins to tumble and break away. And that you are able to rebuild yourself and resculpt yourself. And that God comes in and helps you with the resources and people, ideas, and places that you need to be the greatest version of you that you are destined to be. To reach those 7 people you're supposed to reach or those 7 million you're supposed to reach.
Love it. Love it. Dr. Acquilla Faye, go to our website, Acquilla, AquillaFaye.com. Get more information about that. And you can also go to our Facebook, facebook.com/path to you. Thank you, my BBS sister, for being on
Thank
the
you,
show.
brother. You've
Yeah,
been helping me. You are a great coach. I would tell anybody that in the Chicago area and international too. This man is phenomenal. It takes a coach to be a coach. You know, take a friend to be a friend. And when you are awesome, which you are, and I'm awesome, which I am, we can't help but be awesome together. So
I
thank you for the
definitely,
opportunity to be here with you. You know what I
definitely.
mean? Like, I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you too. And I can't wait to see you again, see you in person,
Yes.
break bread together, share some thoughts, and just be in synergy with each other. So as you go back to the green room, don't eat up all the
All
mussels
right.
because I'm coming in there soon.
Okay.
Save some scrimp, okay?
I say you some.
And again, we're going to keep that information for Acquilla, how you can get in contact with Acquilla on the screen and in the chat room. Listen, so I'm going to show you some comments real quick. Lady Rochelle Matheny said, unstoppable. Cynthia Leftridge, my cuz, said, closed mouth don't get fed. Awesome word. Thank you for an amazing show. We are all God's children. We don't know what it took to walk in their shoes. Definitely some great comments out there. So, again, go to AquillaFaye.com, get all her information, find out where she's going to be speaking at next. And hey, Acquilla, as always, keep being unstoppable, okay?
No doubt. You too. Thanks for playing my song at the beginning.
Oh, no problem. And we're going to play a little snippet of it again on the way out, okay? Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Dr. Acquilla Faye. Go to her website, AquillaFaye.com, get more information. We had a great time. Oh, So let's see. Billy Miller's just asked a question. Is there a certain page you're on in Herbert's book? So let's bring Acquilla back up real quick. I don't think she's in the book. I think you edited the book. Is that correct? Herbert's book,
It's both. I helped edit this edition, and I'm in the book. I am on page. What page am I on in it? You know what, love? I apologize for not knowing my own page. Oh, you know why? Because I'm looking at the other one I edited. I think I'm on page like 128, if I'm not mistaken.
Billy, that just means you got to read the whole book.
Right. Right, but I believe I'm on 128 though.
Read the whole thing, and when she jumps out, you'll be like, wow, there she is. Bam! All right, Dr. Faye, going back down to the green room, and I'll talk to you shortly, all right?
Okay.
All right, family, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for being a part of the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge on another Tuesday night. It was phenomenal. Hopefully you enjoyed the guests. I can see by the comments that you did. And again, I want to invite you one more time to go to my website. You can get your copies. You don't have to pre-order. You can get them right now. We've got them in the place. Go to unstoppablecoaching.com, unstoppablecoaching.com/store, and you can get your copy of the You Are Unstoppable Moving from Past to Purpose book, as well as the other book, the Live Your Best Life series book. Why? Because you only get one. So definitely go ahead and get that book, as well as that book, all at the unstoppablecoaching.com/store website. And as we leave out, I always want to leave you with an unstoppable thought. You know, Dr. Faye talked about the 4 key points: spiritual grounding, relationship with self, stop judging and comparing, and know that God is real. But I want to add a 5th key point. And that 5th key point is that you right now have everything inside of you to heal yourself, to encourage yourself, to motivate yourself, to live the unstoppable life that you were not only intended to live, but you were created to live. Don't sleep on that fact. Get spiritually grounded. Form a relationship with yourself. Recognize that there's a seed growing inside of you. And if you give it a little bit of sun, and if you give it a little bit of rain, and if you give it a little bit of dirt, and you mix it all together, you're going to grow something, and something's going to grow out of you. And don't restrict yourself from allowing it to grow out of you, because if it comes out of you, and if it's good, and if it's authentic, it's going to change somebody's life, and quite possibly save somebody's life. I guarantee it. I am a living witness. I understand that it's time out for settling for less when you can be unstoppable. So go out, get grounded, get a relationship with yourself, get a relationship with God, and allow that seed called purpose inside of you to grow so that you can go help somebody else grow too. All right, family, that's my time. As we leave out, I'm going to give a little bit more of Dr. Acquilla Faye live, speaking about Love Heals. But wherever you are in the world today, don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day.
Do me a favor and raise your right hand if you've ever felt love, like at any point in your life, just at any point, from the time you were born till today. Now, keep that hand up. Raise your other hand if you've ever had your heart broken. Again, everybody, that's us. One of our sisters came up earlier and said sometimes we feel broken. You might have had a job that you loved, or know somebody who had a job that they loved, and the job decided that they weren't making enough capital, so they had a layoff that morning, Not thinking about the payoff to the family was $0 for you, and you had to readjust at that moment. Or you might have had a relationship, a friendship, a family member who passed away and you weren't expecting it. You weren't ready. And your heart broke. And inside your mind, you play these games with yourself, asking yourself, what is it that I could have done differently? What could I have said? Where could I have went? Why didn't I? Would have, could have, should have. But there's a proverb that says, out of suffering rises the strongest of souls. Yeah. Now, why do we rise? We rise because there is a gift in the giving. See, what happens is when we struggle, we have to give that struggle to the Creator, to the divine, to God, Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, whatever you would like to call him, Jesus Christ, yourself, it, the universal spirit, the source, the reason that we're all here. And when we give it up, it comes back down so that we can share our gifts with other people. And that gift that we're able to give is a reciprocated cycle of the love that we get so that we can heal. And a lot of us don't talk about healing anymore. We talk about you'll get over it. It'll be all right. You okay? Oh, I got my own thing going on. And we forget how connected we really are to each other. We're all one. If one hurts, we all hurt. If one smiles, we all start smiling. If one soars, we all fly. So why don't we all love? That's the key right there. If you have a pen and a paper, I want you to write down LOVE. L, we need to listen and learn. A lot of us think listening means following direction, and it means doing this. When someone's talking to you, stop trying to advise and just realize that they're opening their heart to you because they need something right there at that moment. They need you to listen and learn what they're going through because you can relate. And that O, you need to be observant. If you open your eyes, you got two eyes, one mouth, you'll see that they're going through something. And it might be an exciting moment. They might have had a great day. They want to tell you the details, but you want to tell them the details of how you can relate to the details of what they're trying to tell you. So nobody gets anything. So it's not always about being sad. It's just we have to be there and be connected to each other with that agape love. Not that eros love, I want to touch you, feel you, hold you. Not that philos love of I got you, contingent upon you doing what I asked you to do, friend. That agape, unconditional. So we have to observe, obey our spirit. And if we're listening to the Creator, we know what we're supposed to do because we opened ourselves up to a higher source. And through that, we see the value in the exchange. So do you hear me? We need to listen and learn. We need to open and observe and obey. We need to see the value in ourselves and everyone else. So then we can elevate each other through a sincere exchange. There's a quote that says, all healing is first healing of the heart. So when you look in the mirror and you forgive yourself for playing those mind games with yourself, and you think about how many times you said something to somebody that crossed them, or how many debts you owe in trespasses, forgive yourself of your debts and your trespasses, then forgive others so that they can forgive you, and then we can all forgive each other and heal and grow in sincere love. And just love. I love you all. Look at somebody and just say, I love you because I love you.
I love you because I love you.